To prevent the prisoner from faking death, the warden used fire to scorch his feet. After a few seconds, with no reaction from the prisoner, he ordered the guards to dispose of the body. The guards stuffed the corpse into a body bag, planning to haul it out after lunch. What they didn't know was that everything had been witnessed by another inmate in a nearby cell. Once the guards left, Tess couldn't wait to crawl out. Seeing his cellmate who'd kept him company for 8 years, Tess was overwhelmed with grief. But as he stared at the old man's body, a bold idea suddenly struck him. Tess quickly tore open the body bag and dragged the old man's corpse into his own cell. He laid the body on his bed, then cut off his own hair and stuck it on the old man's head. Next, he crawled back to the old man's cell and retrieved the treasure map that had been hidden in the wall. Before the guards returned, he sewed himself into the body bag. From here on out, his fate was in the hands of destiny. Soon enough, the guards came back from lunch. They noticed the body felt heavier than before, but they didn't bother opening the bag to check. To ensure the corpse would sink to the ocean floor, the guards tied lead weights around the ankles, then worked together to throw the body into the sea. At that moment, Tess pulled out his homemade knife, cut a hole in the body bag, and successfully wriggled free. He quickly untied the lead weights from his feet and swam with all his might toward the shore. After enduring 15 years of wrongful imprisonment, Tess had finally escaped. But the crisis wasn't over yet. He had to make it to shore before the guards discovered what happened. That evening, when the guard delivered dinner, something felt off. No matter how many times he called out Tess's name, there was no response. The guard went in and pulled back the blanket to find a horrifying sight. It was the old man they'd supposedly thrown into the sea. The warden ordered the guards to move the bed, and they discovered that the stones in the wall could be removed as easily as building blocks. The warden peered inside with a torch, and a tunnel appeared right before his eyes. He immediately sounded the alarm and gathered the guards to search for Tess. But by then it was too late. Tess had swum all the way to shore in one go and set off on his path of revenge. To avoid drawing attention, Tess snuck into a farm and stripped off his humiliating prison uniform. A few days later, he finally returned to his hometown, only to learn that his father had died years ago and was buried in the church cemetery. Tess couldn't believe it until he saw his father's gravestone with his own eyes. Only then did he realize that his family had suffered the deepest wounds when disaster struck him. The priest told Tess that his father had died of depression and that the gravestone next to his was Tess's own. Tess discovered the date of death was the same year he'd been imprisoned, which meant the people who'd framed him never intended to let him go free. Later, Tess went to his fiance's house, only to find out she'd remarried shortly after his imprisonment. What Tess never expected, though, was that the man she'd married was the very person who'd framed him and sent him to prison. Now, he had only one goal: find the treasure of the Count of Monte Cristo and get revenge on those who'd destroyed his life.